Hey guys, Nugi here. Today's video I'm going to be showcasing the Demon Hunter I've been working on stream. It is a fire-based Demon Hunter using cluster bombs or cluster arrow loaded for bear. Those are two variations of the cluster arrow, cluster bombs and loaded for bear. These are both fire. This is very important. The idea with the build is using only skills that are categorized as fire. So we have the choice between loaded for bear, cluster bombs. Loaded for bear is the go-to one. It's the easiest one to play with. I have Justice is Served with the fire damage. I have Vault Trainer Cinders, another one with fire damage. Punishment, this is one of your ways of gaining resources. Then I have a companion. You could take either one of these. I'll tell you why in my build why that is. I have Dark Cloud. This is an optional spot. You can go Mark as well. The Dark Cloud only helps me out right now, clearing out a little bit of the white monsters. It breaks barrel like stuff for me as well. So that's okay. It's an optional spot. You can play around with many things here. A lot of people like Mark for death as well. They like vengeance, maybe some phantom knives. Play around with that slot, that's up to you. If you're going for a pure DPS build, Anathema with Rain of Vengeance is probably the highest damage one you could pick. For passives, I choose to go this route. This is Perfectionist, Tactical Advantage, Ambush and Blood Vengeance. This is for solo play. If I was playing in a group, I would probably be swapping this out with Grenadier and Call the Weak, because I would pop my companion that would slow them all, or I would have a guy slowing for me. Grenadier for cluster bombs. I like running cluster bombs, Grenadier, Call the Weak. You also have Justice Serve, which is also a slow in group play. So this is like a ton of damage if you can set this up right. So the reason why you can pick either of the bat companions is my gear setup. So for the gear I'm using right now, I got a nicely rolled Ring of Royal Grandeur. It will reduce the amount of items needed for set bonuses, though a minimum of 2 will always be needed, so you can't just have one. So as you can see here, I have 3 pieces, and then I get the 4 piece. The 4 piece is companion calls all companion to your side, meaning I get every single type of companion. I have right now 5 companions. I have the ferret, the bat, the boar, the wolf and the spider. And so whenever I pop it, I get all the passive bonuses. I get the resist, the regen, I get the hatred regen, I get the slow from the like everything. Just go in and check them out, as you can see right here, wolf. And whenever I pop it, I will slow everything around me, I will taunt, I will gain hatred, and I will gain a 30% damage boost. So this one extra piece, like getting that 4th bonus, is incredible. It is like getting 4 extra passive slots out here, so it's pretty incredible. I aim to maybe getting nets in here as well, maybe another set bonus. Like I might have 3 set bonus in the end, but this is something you can mix and juggle with. Let me show you some of the options. Captain Crimson's Silk Girdle, resource reduction and cooldown reduction, plus some nice regen and resist. There is the Asura's, well, 100 resist. There are a few others. Orc Hills here. Reduced damage and increased damage. This is very nice defensively. There is also Reaper's Rats for more resource regeneration over here. So a few things to get. But so how the build works now in terms of how do you itemize? Like you can get all these sets, these are cool and all. One of the reasons why Marauders is so good, especially for solo play, is that with the Templar out, getting some regen, right? You get hatred regen. Then you get the bat out, that's some more regen. You get a slow weapon. You get blood, like you get the baubles here to regen. Then you get the bat to regen. You get the punishment to regen. So there's a lot of things going on in terms of regenning, but also every single point spent has to matter. So that's why I'm choosing the slow weapon, because then I only have to shoot once to kill. As you can see here, the cluster arrow, let me go the solo spec, loaded for bear, costs 40 hatred per, I have 150, so that's not that many. What you then do is you get some resource cost reduction. Until Wednesday I'm gonna use the gloves of worship, and I'm gonna exploit, well, there's been a bug with the Empower Shrine, making it so that it lasts 1 hour instead of 10 minutes. You cannot do that after Wednesday, so I'm gonna be starting this on Wednesday with these. That will give me 7% resource cost reduction. It's gonna make the spec a little bit slower, and I lose a little bit of toughness, but it's gonna make the spec still viable. So definitely on gloves and on shoulder you stack resource reduction. I could swap the attack speed here, preferably I think, with resource reduction as well. I could also get it on the quiver. That in the end that might actually be better, getting the resource reduction over here on the quiver instead of like vitality. But then we're starting to look at getting very fragile. So there is some room for improvement here. In the end, probably a pair of mace switch would be best here, but stuff to move around. So in essence, what you're trying to do here, crit damage. Don't try and stack too much attack speed. I only have attack speed because it's on the gear and I can't get rid of it. So it's crit damage, fire skill damage, as it increases the damage of all of these. Fire skill damage works in this way. Any fire skill damage you have, you can pretty much just add that all together and then multiply the number you get with your tooltip DPS. So right now I have, let's see, 20, that's 60-ish, 60, 70, 80, 85, 85, 100. Let's say I have like around 100 fire skill and cluster bomb damage. These are all additive. So I would essentially have 1.84 effective tooltip for my cluster arrow. Plus I have a lot of reduction as well. That's very important. The Cinder Coat I feel is kind of mandatory for this spec. If you don't have a Cinder Coat, this becomes very tedious with the resources. I would recommend going maybe an Elemental Arrow build or a Shuriken build, or some other build that's not as resource heavy if you don't have the Cinder Coat. The Cinder Coat is the key part in the cluster arrow fire build. You can also go a faster weapon, but that means that you have to like weave in more entangling shots. I prefer relying more on the regen and the pickups of the bubbles, and then reducing the cost so you never run out of hatred anyway, so you can pretty much spam it all the time. Let's see, where can we go? Let's just go to the good old Keep Death. Show you real quick. So this is without the Gloves of Worship, just to showcase that you can actually do this. This is Torment 2. Boom, boom. Stuff dies pretty fast.
Darkness awaits you.
And we pop that for like, we just pop this every time you can. Something, especially when you can't use Gloves of Worship anymore, is making sure that you pick up all the globes. As you can see, the damage is pretty good. I even have Color Weakened Grenadier, so what I should be using here was Ambush. I should be using Perfectionist. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit keeping up that discipline. If I can get my 3-set net bonus, that would help out tremendously, because that would give me another 20 discipline as well. But as you can see here, I can nearly one-shot these using very little resources. So I rarely had to do anything else than cast Loaded for Bear. So you can see, stacking all that damage, making every single shot count as much as possible. Right now I have the Harrington Jones belt as well. So what I can do is Whenever I pick up a chest or I open one of those, I will do even more damage. Boom, as you can see right there. Open the chest, boom. So this increases my damage by an additional 130%, which is also crazy. So yeah, I think that's it for now. There's a few other setups you can do, but in general it's crit damage, crit chance, fire damage, cluster arrow damage. I used the Stone of Jordan for the elite damage as well, since the elites are the most important things to take down. The 3-set bonus is amazing, or the 4-set bonus is amazing. For Marauders, it's very hard to get. For a budget build, get the Sinnoh coat and then stack a lot of resource reduction. You don't necessarily need all my gear, but the things you need is resource reduction and high damage per shot. So slow weapon, a 2-handed crossbow is my preferred weapon. Resource reduction. So yeah, in the end here, try out different things. For instance, if you get lucky and you get the Barisa with the 2 additional projectiles and where the bolas instantly explode, you can try out bolas. These are also fire damage. And you can hit 3 in a row that instantly explode. That's also pretty crazy. Entangling shot with Justice Reserved is nice because it adds slow, plus a lot of hatred regen. You could easily see that gloves of worship are not needed to make this build work as long as you get enough resource reduction. I would recommend getting at least one more piece with resource reduction and you should be just fine. Right now at 14% on top of the Sinnoh coat, I would like another 7, 8 or 10 ish, and that would make the build really nice. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.